Hey everyone, it's the end of the day 2 for the launch of Etheria. So let's go over the things that I did to progress my account. At the end of day 2, I was able to reach level 24. And that was with me starting right at the beginning of launch. And therefore I was getting all the stamina regen during that time, or at least most of it. If you started late, or if maybe you're re-rolling, then maybe you'll be a bit of a lower level because you won't have as much stamina regen as I did. But that's okay, like you'll be like roughly level 23 or 24, right? You won't be too far behind. The next main stage is unlocked at 27. At 23 you get a unlock for the main stage, and that will then unlock, I believe, some of the challenges. So GP outposts will unlock at roughly around 23, right? Now, I will warn you that from 7 to 9, some of these are actually quite difficult. So it's actually not a bad idea to farm a bit of stage 6 while you can, like during, while you're lower level, right? If you were able to complete stage 6, I think it's actually a good time to start farming a little bit of that, because you're going to get bricked somewhere along here, most likely for most of these stages anyway. Because these materials are good for the skill up your units and give them some stats at the beginning, right? Now, even if you're not ready to go to the next skill up, this might not be the best example, but say like here, right? I'm not gonna use my ladders at the moment for Lian's skill 1, right? But all the nodes before that, they obviously do not cost any lattices, but they give you a bunch of bonus stats, like attack for skill 1, skill 2 gives you defense, skill 3 gives you HP. Now for a lot of units, getting those extra stats will help them a lot with survivability, and you're gonna need to level that up anyway at some point. Therefore, any of your main units, try to upgrade your skill 1, skill 2, skill 3 up to the level 2 or just before the level 2 portion of it, right? And then additionally, investigation will go up to this one, level 19. I believe you might have to do you have to do chapter 8, I believe, to unlock all this, but it is worth farming experience. If you have nothing else to farm, then I would just do experience, because that's always going to be useful for you as well. And then also for shells, this is the main area that I focused on. Now, if you look at in your achievement section, you go to battle and grim pursuit. You are well, not necessarily required, but if you want to complete these missions, you will have to do these eventually, even the low level ones, right? So I figured, why not just do these while these shells are still relevant? So on day 1, I did Jax, Shadowrunner, and then I started on Apate, but she was a little tough, so I don't think I did too much until towards the end of day 1. Then I was much more comfortable with it on day 2, so I did all of the hard difficulty ones. These ones, actually, you can do them on the normal difficulty, but you may as well do them on the hard difficulty because it's more efficient and they drop better shells, right? The Apate does require 60 times to finish that off, and you much rather be doing this now while her shells are still useful to you, because if you farm this later on to complete this achievement, they're mostly going to be wasted and you'll probably just sell them anyway. But at least at this point you can make use of them, even if you are going to sell them eventually anyway. They will help you progress in the other stages of the game, and that's why on a lot of my animuses, they have shells from the early stages, right? So I'm using Agent Listen on Lian. Dinah is using the Unbridled Science. This one is quite good for most of your supports, because it's just a good generic one, right? So I would suggest any of them that have Swift Rush, at least 2 Matrix. I think it's only 2 max anyway, but if you have 2 Matrix Swift Rush, they will help you with your gearing as well. So as an example, my Dinah, I was able to get exactly 12 Swift Rush to get the full speed bonus, right? And with the matrices, even though I haven't leveled them up, I am getting like the bonus. This bonus is the main reason why to equip gear. Even if they're low quality gear, you just want the set bonus for the early game. That will scale you the highest, rather than spending your coins. Even though I have a lot of coins, these at higher levels are going to cost a lot of coins to upgrade. Therefore, you try not to level too many up in the early game. I basically only leveled up the ones that I needed to progress certain achievements. For example, on Leanne, I leveled hers to level 9 because one of the achievements for Leanne is you need to do level 9 of a set. So basically fully equip her with level 9 gear. So I just did it on this set. And then there was another one that required 2 sets of level 6 or higher, and therefore I just did one not this one, one Swift set on Lily. Also, I guess a bit of a spoiler now, but not a spoiler, but like I was meant to announce it earlier, but you can give her like more stats on your best support, which in my case is Lily. But prior to that, I had it on Chiaki the Echo because she was my primary like speed support, and that's how you should approach the gearing in the early game. You just use the shells to get the stats. These are pretty good stats, more than what you would get with your substats on the low level 1 matrix gear that it's just basically not worth it. Additionally, when you sell these shells eventually, you will get 70% of the materials back, whereas on your modules you only get about 45%, I believe, in return. So it's just a lot more efficient to do shells, and that's also why I focused heavily on shells for the first couple of days. Today, once I go through my stamina today, will also mostly be shells. I'll be trying to finish off the current one that I'm on, which is Karuru. I need to do probably like another 20 or 30 runs to finish the achievement, and then I'll be trying to prog Fabian. Fabian is actually quite a big jump up from Karuru, so you have to be prepared for her. And the shells that you get from Karuru will probably be useful. At least the style will be okay, I think, and Reason is a good one for your healer. And then the stuff that you got from Apate, these ones are good for your DPS. So you look for the ones with appropriate matrices. Most likely will be from the Panda, because he's got like all of the good ones: Swift, Onslaught, and Harvest. They're all like useful for your DPS. And that is like how you would progress during the first couple of days. Modules, I have cleared the highest difficulty that I can at the moment. The next one will unlock at level 25, but I've done hard 3 and I've only cleared it once, for both Terrormaton and Dokidoki. Now, with the achievements relating to farming these stages, they will generally say like a certain difficulty or higher, right? And that's very important. Let's have a look here. Well, yeah, say for this one doesn't even have like a particular stage that you need to do, right? So any stage that you do will progress this achievement. That's why it's not a big rush to farm your modules at this point in time. Also in the hyperlink, you will see, I think here. So Terrormaton, I could do this achievement now and complete it, but I'm not really in a rush for this, and I could do Nightmare once I unlock it. And if I could do Nightmare, to complete this achievement, it would be much more efficient, because obviously you're getting higher quality gear over the hard 3. And I think there's another one here somewhere, like here, Dokidoki normal. This is how little I've done Dokidoki. I've basically only done the bare minimum for Dokidoki. But now, if I would, let's say I was doing another 6 clears of Dokidoki, I can do it on hard 3 instead of doing it on a normal 3. Right? Normal 3 is just not worth it at all. But at least hard 3 is somewhat reasonable. But ideally, I would rather do this at Nightmare. And also, I haven't been able to do this one yet because I don't want to level my gear right now. So if I'm not completing this to complete the full phase, then it's not much point clearing this for Dokidoki. So I do it when I need to do it. Okay, so that pretty much covers the main things I did during day 2. I did a little bit of like the anti-sync echoes. You kind of like this actually. You get some nice like small rewards, but they're not too bad, right? You'll get stuck eventually. At some point, I got stuck on Whitney, and yeah, at least with these, if you can't clear it, you don't lose stamina. So these are nice to do, like just to try out while you're autoing something else, especially if you have nothing else to do. Actually, one other thing I want to talk about is Arena. Now, Arena, I personally refreshed, or basically I bought tickets, right? For the first 2 days, I bought all of these out. But if you're free to play, understandably, you do not have to do it, right? If you do not want to spend the crystals on it. Personally, I think it's worth it, at least in the early game, because you get more of the currency, right, to buy stuff from the shop. And considering we only have a couple of days left, you do want to make sure you can buy these. And your attack tickets only refresh at the start of the day. You do not accumulate them over time like you do in other games. And basically, you just have 5 attacks per day unless you spend crystal to refresh. Now, I will leave it up to you on whether you want to spend your crystals or not on this. Maybe you want to save your crystals for summons, that's your choice. But from like a more competitive point of view, I think it's better to refresh at least for the first couple of days as a free-to-play. If you're a light spender, then I would do it for at least a few days, maybe a week. And just, raise your ranking up. You get this is also a good time to get the rank up rewards because you're just fighting bots anyway most of the time, right? Most of these are bots. You can kind of tell if it has like a name like this, like Alex Brown with like a dot in between. Those are bots. The other ones, they're more likely to be players. Hard to say. I mean, this probably looks like a team that a real player would use, but yeah, you just target the bots because they have much easier teams to fight, less gear, etc. And just do that. You can, for me personally, I just did the lowest one I could because I actually didn't really want to climb too quickly. And also, I mean, another thing you could do if you want to stay low level to farm easy wins, you could also just like run, just take out units from this, right, and just run like a fodder team. That's a common strategy that people do in all gacha games, like similar to this. Now, RTA has just started, and this is also worth doing on, or from now on, since it is unlocked. You have a separate shop here for Summit Arena, right? Etheria is the normal arena. Summit Arena is RTA. So you want to do this. You have there's a certain limit to how many you can get, so like rewards for the week. So you have to participate in, or just participate in 20 matches, and you'll get these ones for free. And then you'll get, I believe, 100 currency per win, 10 for a loss. This might go up with rankings, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but there's also rank up rewards that you would like to get some extra materials. And of course, in the shop, you got plenty of stuff that you want to buy. These anima crystal points are for the anima shop. I think this is a new thing that they added, right? This wasn't in the beta, but you'll probably want to pick up at least shadow prints, your prototypes, like for more summons, and perfect lattice fragments. This will equate to 1 fragment in total, but you can, as long as you buy all 10, right? This will restock in a bit over 2 weeks, so it's not as much of a rush, but I think you can do this at your own pace, to be honest. I don't think there's actually daily like points that you have to do, but there are quests, and these, I'm not sure when they reset, to be honest. But you should do at least your 20, and in your spare time, just do some matches to try to accumulate some points. What I did, because I'm a little lazy with RTA, back in the beta, I would just matchmake. I would just pick my units and I'll just press auto and let it do its thing. You can do that if you want. It's a lot more, easier. But if you want to actually play it and compete, that's your choice. On the weekend, we will have the Fearless Arena. Now, normally it's on the weekend, but it's actually... Oh no, sorry. It is started. So this is another mode that you will want to do. So in the rewards, if you participate 3 times, even if you lose, you'll get a stamina potion. That is very important. You want to save this up for double resource, so make sure you do this. And I believe this is weekly. Therefore, you want to just do the best you can. Like, it's not a big deal. It's basically a tournament style RTA system. And then depending on what you reach, you get some bonus rewards. If you don't get all the rewards, it's not too big of a deal, honestly. You want to at least get this one, because I know a lot of people will hate doing RTA, and therefore they probably won't bother like too much with it. But if you just participate 3 times, at least you'll get a stamina potion. And there's some also, like, I think there's probably some rank rewards somewhere. I'm not sure, but yeah, those are the PvP sections. And I think that pretty much covers the main things that I got this week. Sorry, I think I briefly mentioned it before, but I did get Lily, my first SSR LD. Apart from that, nothing... Oh, so actually Dinah was the other good unit that I pulled, and I've been focusing on these 6 units for the time being. Basically, the units that you focus on at the beginning would depend on who you pull. You just have to make the best with what you got, and if you don't have a certain role, then you look for an alternative, right? As an example, like Dorothy would be the alternative. If you do not have a good healer, like Chiaki or Sanya, then you just have to run with Dorothy for the time being. Turn meter booster, you could use 41, or you could use Chiaki when you get her. Or Dokidoki is the premium turn meter booster. Lily is also decent. She only turn boosts 1 unit, but she gives them a lot of damage buffs and stuff. So I'm actually primarily using her as my support now. But in stages where I can run 5 units, I'll put Chiaki in as an additional unit. Okay. Alright, now I will leave it here. I pretty much covered most of what I remembered to talk about. So I will talk about some more stuff tomorrow when I progress a little bit more. So, yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.